Welcome to episode 320 of the Grip Strip Podcast, the Break the Walls Down edition of the Grip Strip Podcast. My name is Phil Matthew. I'm your host. And as always, I'm with my co host, the iRacing Indy 500 champion, computer genius, gentleman, and a scholar. His name is Josh Fine. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Phil. Of course, great weekend of racing here. Historical weekend, I guess, of some sort here at San Diego, with the San Diego circuit or Qualcomm circuit and NASCAR at San Diego weekend here. So yeah, at Naval Base Coronado. So yeah, it was a really good weekend of racing. Happy Father's Day to everybody as well. That was yesterday. So yeah, ready to get into it.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to the fathers out there, belated. And of course, for some of these drivers, they're celebrating Father's Day as well. But one person that ain't a father yet, definitely very young, his name's Corey Heim, and it is Heim time in his 13th career start. Corey Heim getting his first career Cup Series victory, going and battling his teammate, the points leader for the whole season, and Tyler Reddick. We'll talk about everything that went on in the Cup Series. And a big day for the 2311 team in general, and for their co-owner. The O'Reilly race saw Hank Hill go and get the victory for RCR. It was a battle there late amongst multiple drivers to get to that point. Lane Van Rigsbergen goes out in the trucks and gets the victory on Friday evening. Definitely a lot of destruction, a lot of walls broken, hence the name of the show. This week at Coronado, but overall a huge weekend celebrating, of course, the 250-year anniversary of the Navy, 250 years of this United States of America, et cetera, et cetera. One of the all-American circuits, all great circuits in the world is Road America, and IndyCar was there for their yearly visit, and Christian Lundgaard went out, came back from being dead last after lap one to win the race, his second win of the year on a permanent road course. Marcus Armstrong falls a couple laps short of his first career win, blowing up there late. Issues for Alex Palou and Green Rehal, among others. So we'll get into that. Roundup will be different. We'll kind of hit some key storylines and tell you some of the racing that will be going on this coming weekend, which includes, of course, the 6 hours at the Glen, which I'll be attending with my significant other and a bunch of friends, sim racing buddies, all driving up for the weekend to experience all that is to be experienced in the great town of Watkins Glen, New York. We will preview and make picks for the Austrian Grand Prix Formula One. They'll be busy here coming up, running out this first half of the season here with the 4 races in about 5 weeks. Then we'll also make picks for Cup and O'Reilly and preview for Sonoma. Josh will let us know all things going on iRacing, gaming, and sim segment, and we'll call it a day. All right, so let us start with the Cup Series Anduril 250 race at the base at Coronado. You had a lot of struggles. A lot of drivers struggled during the practice and qualifying. It wasn't your usual grid, but there was some you would think there'd be the likes of, I mean, the one thing that was usual was Shane Van Gisbergen winning the pole, and he did. He led 7 laps. He ended up being able to, I don't know, he didn't get any stage points either, so it was a complete disaster. Yeah, so I mean, you had SVG on pole. Connor Zilich was not happy with his qualifying run, but had gotten in top 10. Christopher Bell started in the back after a wreck and then ended up getting out of the car early to cede over to Brent Marks to go. He goes in because of his injuries he suffered a couple of weeks ago in Michigan. You had, there wasn't, considering the amount of stuff that went on during the day, there was only, 7 cars that were listed with some sort of issue. And really there was, you go to 20, there's 29 cars on the lead lap at the end of the day. Byron had issues. The sponsor, he had to sponsor the race on there. And Richard had multiple issues during the day. Brad Keselowski, another one, continuing his trend of really being terrible on road courses. But yeah, let us go through here. The stage winners were Ryan Blaney in stage 1 and Ryan Prix in stage 2. Prix scored 19 stage points on the day and ended up 11th. That it was a race where you had, it was SVG and Zilich was leading there, coming to a restart on lap 31 after the end of stage 1, and then the oil down from or after stage 1, and then which had there was an issue for Stenhouse. Then he got the lap back. Then the 20 with Marks blows up. They come back to green, and then the multi-car incident, which that really affected the second stage, basically ended the second stage, destroyed a bunch of cars. And then after that, there was only 2 more yellows the rest of the day after that. But there are plenty of action that took place throughout the race. Plenty of people who were caught out. It was definitely interesting. Track was rough, uneven surfaces all over the place. There was opportunities to make moves, plenty of places to pass with these vehicles. But it's definitely one where you're going to be going, a lot of these drivers are going to be going to a chiropractor after this deal, no matter which vehicle you're in. Jimmy Johnson was in this race, of course, 20 miles away from his home in El Cajon, California. One of his last starts that he's going to make in a cup car, and then he hit a tire barrier, trying to throw back to his historic crash at Watkins Glen when he lost the brakes, and his brakes sucked on this car too. Kevin Magnussen gained a lot of fans by basically telling Noah Gragson to F off. And Gragson was driving like Gragson, so he got used up like he deserves. And he was talking a lot, but I was figuring he was going to throw a punch. But the difference here was I think he knew that Kevin Magnussen would have choked his ass out, and he chose to decide he wanted to live there in that sense. We had drivers. There's a few drivers that actually scored stage points in both stages there. 5 of them. I mentioned Prix and Blaney. Pizza Face Hocevar to save his day because he ended up falling all the way back. He was running up front late in the race and it ends up 19th. And then Gilliland ends up 21st. He had issues there late. I think he got moved. But I mean, 2311 by the end of the race had a stranglehold on the front of the race. Pit stops, Hocevar had that last yellow, he had come off pit road and he had the lead after the reset. So Hocevar was in a position to possibly get a win there. And he goes back, finishes 19th, but it isn't that big of a deal. He got some stage points. I mean, you had some drivers that came from middle of the pack there in Chastain, Herbst. Herbst finished 8th, probably ran way better than that. He avoided 2 wrecks there, and somehow or another, I mean, he ties his best career finish, probably could have gotten his first career top 5 there. AJ Allmendinger, I forgot about him, but he's one that stands out, but then it's AJ Allmendinger. So even with the lack of resources that they have at Colleague with the sim, they went out and they put a really good car together, him and Trent Owens, and they were able to utilize strategy and good pit stops and get up there. But when it came down to it, it was a battle between Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim. And Corey Heim makes a move on the points leader, winner of 5 races this year. And Corey Heim in his 13th career start, after starting 13th for the first time in 675 starts for the number 67, gets that number of first win. I saw that. It was somewhere there. I saw it was the first time ever the number 67's ever won in the Cup Series. So Corey Heim, who will be taking over the 35 for Riley Herbst, who will probably move over to Legacy next year. Not sure what number they're going to run. Maybe they'll run, I don't think it'll be the 84, but could be the 40. Well, I don't know what it'll be, actually. 30, could be the 32, for all I know. There's no 32, so he'll be running over there next year, but he's shown a progress. But Corey Heim has also shown why he belongs, and Keebler, Gibbs, and nepotism is part of the reason why he hasn't been in a Cup car, and his hatred for Corey Heim, because he probably raced him hard. But Corey Heim raced his own teammate hard, and I think even Reddick knew he had kind of went over the edge and doored him, cut a tire down in the process, and lost a bunch of track position at the end of that race, lost a bunch of points. But in the grand scheme of things, Denny Hamlin has a team. He has a 3-car team next year, and he has 3 guys that are at least chase contenders. 2 guys that you can make a real argument are championship contenders. You already know, you see it with Tyler Reddick. He is a 2-time O'Reilly Series champion, has competed for a truck title. Corey Heim had destroyed the truck series for the last 3 years, and last year won 12 races, and probably could have won more than 12. It was not even a factor. He was insane how good he was. But in the grand scheme of things, last race for Amazon Prime this year, but a historic moment at a historic venue. And Corey Heim, Josh, goes out there and joins the likes of Jimmy Johnson, winning in a limited amount of starts. You've got to look it up in terms of least amount of starts to go and win first career Cup race. But Corey Heim showing why Denny Hamlin and why Michael Jordan said lock him up, because he is a real deal, and proved it yesterday against a guy who in a few months could be a Cup Series champion.
Yeah, a very significant win here for Corey Heim here on Sunday. 13th start, like you said. It took Jimmy Johnson 13 starts to win in the Cup Series. Other drivers, I think, well, SVG won in his very first start there. So, Jamie McMurray, second start. Trevor Bayne, second start. So, long, list of names that, drivers who won very quickly. I think, Dale Jr., 12 starts. So, there's variations, right? But then you also have like guys like Kyle Larson who took, I don't know how many starts, but he'd already been in the Cup Series for over 2.5 years before he won his first race. Chase Elliott almost 3 years in the Cup Series before he won his first race. And then of course the example this year, Ty Gibbs, okay, over 100 starts. Carson Hocevar winning for the first time this year. He had already been in the Cup Series for 2 full seasons, and so there's debate on, okay, like when is it acceptable now? Because we know that the Cup Series is harder than it's ever been, especially now with the next gen, of course, and the transition from the next gen to from the Xfinity or O'Reilly car and the Truck Series is a lot. It's a pretty big step in handling and everything, and we've only seen a handful of drivers successfully make that transition, like Hocevar, like Corey Heim here, and of course you're seeing, on the other hand, you're seeing guys like Connor Zilic who lit up the series last year, struggle this year, and of course there's always the difference of preparation and the car, of course. So there's all that factored into that, but Corey Heim, extremely impressive here, and he's doing it on a part-time basis here. He's not even full-time, so he goes out here and wins the race. Shows the amount of preparation, the amount of talent that he has, patience that he has, because at the beginning of the race, like, he wasn't up there, but middle of second stage, later stage, was able to track down Larson. Larson had built up like a almost 6-second lead, I think, and Corey Heim was able to get that down pretty good before their final pit stop there. So for Heim, I mean, we know it's his time, of course, as he makes the celebration kind of his thing there. But for 2311, I mean, they found a franchise guy again in Corey Heim, and of course, he could have gone to other organizations, but stayed patient with 2311 there. So him, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace next year should be a pretty good trio there of teammates that should be able to contend for the chase for the Cup next year. So got to be really, really looking forward to that if you're a guy like Michael Jordan or Denny Hamlin, of course, who owns the car. So extremely impressive there. Gotta give kudos to Tyler Reddick there for racing him clean there at the end. We kind of saw the battle heating up there. Heim was able to stay within 3 to 4 tenths at most times throughout the course of the lap, and then I think Reddick just started losing the grip on his car there as they headed into turn 3 at Carrier Corner there. So definitely for Heim, opportunity there to send it in into that corner and come out on the other side as a leader. And then they had a little bit of a battle there for that part of the lap. And honestly, I was wondering, like, if they started fighting for the lead, would that open the door for Bubba Wallace or even Kyle Larson there? And they both got into it, made contact. Heim went a little high. Reddick just stopped and said, hey, here's the position, and shows the amount of respect, maturity that Tyler Reddick has as a driver, and also just the awareness to not wreck your teammate or take out somebody like that for the win. So huge kudos to Tyler Reddick, and of course I guess that led to him, I think it was the left front for him. So led to the flat tire there in that end there. So Tyler Reddick now has only an 8-point lead on Denny Hamlin in the chase standings here. So now Hamlin has a real opportunity here. All he has to do is just finish top 15 again. He finished 14th on Sunday, so just have another top 15 finish and just try to get stage points in some way against Reddick and come back to a mile and a half like Chicagoland, and they'll be in it. And then then there's Atlanta again, and so on and so forth until we get to Daytona. So after Reddick first 9 races here. Remember, it was 5 of the first 9 that he had won, and it was looking really good for him. But slowly but surely, it's kind of withered away now, and now it's down right to it. So the battle's shaping up here in the chase, and making at least points racing a lot more interesting than it's been in quite a while. So it's definitely a interesting part of the championship, for sure. Guys that really needed good days. I mean, Kyle Larson went from 6th to 4th in the standings now with the top 3 finish there. Possible shot at the win there, but they're just not quite there on speed like the Gibbs cars. Bubba Wallace, 2nd place finish, up and down day for him throughout the day. Possibly could have had speed for a winning race there, but they had the tire issue, the wheel falling off, and that led to them having issues on pit road. They lost 2 laps. They gained 2 laps back after the big wreck and other cautions, and they were able to fight back to get 2nd. So huge result for Bubba Wallace. I know he probably wanted to win that one, obviously calling himself Bubba Hamilton there, or I don't know, maybe it's Lewis Wallace or some sort. But for Bubba, good finish there, best career finish on a road course, street course. So it's definitely an opportunity there. He's been improving there on that track type over the last couple of years. So now he moves up to 11th in the standings. So adds some cushion for him trying to stay out of that danger zone in 16th there. So for Bubba, great result there. And then, for other guys, like Christopher Bell, of course, falls a couple spots down to 12th after getting out, but then they had an issue with the shifter there, and that, ended their day. Engine ended their day there. So, terrible result for him, of course, after last couple of weeks. Michigan crashed, Pocono ran out of fuel. Now they failed to finish again here at San Diego. So, really bad couple of weeks there for the 20. SVG, of course, got collecting the big one there after the restart. And if you're looking for Shane Van Gisbergen to qualify for the chase, you knew he needed to have a good San Diego race. Possible win, of course, was looking like the guy once again next week at Sonoma, of course. So those are 2 really good weeks for him to score a ton of points, and they weren't able to get any of that, and they also didn't get any stage points on top of that. So for SVG, not what they needed to have, especially after the way that they were looking throughout this race here. So that was obviously a terrible result for them, and it was a really bad accident there. I guess, Austin Hill just completely missed turn 1, which that was hard. I mean, we saw that in the O'Reilly. We'll talk about it later, but the hard hits that some of those guys took there, and another hard hit for Connor Zilic there. He's already had a couple of hard hits throughout his early career here in Cup and O'Reilly series. So another hard hit for him there. Of course, you mentioned it earlier, of course, maybe we should say Happy Father's Day, especially to Kevin Magnussen, his 3 children, including Noah Gragson there, completely, owned him there. So I guess Noah Gragson, his son there. So, fastest lap there in his Cup debut, and showing that they qualified 2 minutes and 14 seconds by SVG on Saturday, and then by the end of the race, they're running 2:12s, 2:13s up there, especially the two leaders fighting for the lead there at the end. So a lot of time that you can take off there. What they were able to gain from qualifying there. So yeah, we'll see if this race comes back next year. They're still deciding, still trying to figure it out. All the logistics that went into it, of course, the walls breaking and stuff. Some issues with the fan amenities on Saturday with how many people there were there, and of course, and then Sunday. I don't know if it improved or not. I mean, it seemed like they brought in some reinforcements for amenities for the fans with more food trucks and all that stuff. But yeah, really do wonder if they're gonna retain this race. I mean, it was only a 1-year deal so far, but if they move it to a different date or something like 4th of July, it'd be interesting to see. I kind of lean toward that this should be kind of a one and done thing, just because I think it got people interested in stuff. I know they're trying to maintain a presence in Southern California and stuff, but I think if they had an oval, it'd be a lot more sustainable to do this long term. But of course, ovals are hard to construct and stuff, and you're not really going to see an oval get constructed that quickly. So we'll see what they do with this course if they decide to keep it. I mean, I could go either way, honestly. Retain it or let it be a one-off thing there. Of course, if NASCAR actually valued their own institutions, we wouldn't be racing here. We'd be racing at Auto Club Speedway up in Fontana. So I rest my case there. So yeah, of course, great weekend. Of course, I think for the Cup Series, very historic. With all the tie-ins to the celebration of the Navy and everything. Lots of cool scenery there. Loved the booth calling the race from the I should know this, but the crow's nest or whatever of the USS Carl Vinson there. So that was pretty cool to see that, and just all the celebration and pageantry with the military and everything. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend of racing, especially Cup Series. Wasn't sure how it was going to go compared to the first 2 days, but luckily didn't really have that many incidents like what we saw in the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Series race.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, there was a lot of leaders. There's a lot of drivers there that were able to make something happen. Some drivers that you don't usually see up front will go through at least. Will get through the top 10, and all the other people that got some stage points. Darrell Walsh Jr. coming back from 2 laps down with a loose wheel, and then is going to lose 2 of his pit crew members in the process, but gets a second place finish, gains some ground in the points. Larson leads second most laps on the day, finishes third. Zane Smith, another solid run, gets himself closer to being in a position to possibly contend for that last chase spot. AJ Allmendinger gains a lot of ground towards that in the number 16 for her colleague. Chris Buescher, who had one of the best cars on the day, finished 6th. Chastain, Herbst, Blaney, who had one of the best cars, period, just lost track position there. And then McDowell rounds out your top 10. Defense unicorns. Yeah, that's why I was wondering what the hell he had a goofy cartoon unicorn on his. I would assume one of his kids would have drawn it, but I guess it's an actual thing. Prix won stage 2, finished 11th, as I mentioned. Clyde, after riding on a scooter with Blaney earlier in the weekend, came from 30th to finish 12th. Nacho Libre was 13th. Hamlin makes up ground in the points. Gibbs was 15th. He got stage points. Logano 18th. Hocevar was 19th. I know he got moved. I'm just trying to remember who moved him. I know Chastain kind of doored him. I don't know if it was Allmendinger. I forget somebody used him up there late, which, I mean, to be fair, it's Hocevar. He's been due to get wrecked I don't know how many times for how many years. Gillen 21st and Byron 32nd, Zilich 37th. The drivers there, some of them drivers who scored stage points. Points heading into Sonoma. It's only an 8-point lead now for Tyler Reddick after having like a 170-point lead at one point earlier this year. 8-point lead over his co-car owner, Denny Hamlin. Blaney has a 47-point edge on Larson, 48 on Gibbs, 49 on Elliott. So that's a good battle pod there between those three drivers. Then Buescher's kind of in his own realm. Suarez and Hocevar basically tied. Then you have another grouping of Briscoe, Wallace, Bell, and Byron all together within 10 points. Then that Jones boy moves up to 14th after what was a nightmare weekend for the legacy cars, but he somehow or another made something out of it. He's 2 points out of Cindric, 5 ahead of Prix, who moves up into the cutoff. SVG falls out. He's 5 back. Logano's 10 behind. Keselowski, after another bad run, is now, 13 points behind his driver, one of his drivers. AJ Allmendinger's 21 points back in 20th. Zane Smith is 51 back in 23rd after his top 5 run there on Sunday. So things are tightening up there at the cutoff, going all the way to 14th, really. 14th all the way to, to Zane Smith is 56 points in 23rd. So 56 points from 14th to 23rd. And then 63 to Riley Herbst, but of course he's leaving, so he's probably gonna fall off. But key battles here also, they have that in-season tournament thing going on starting next week as well. At Sonoma, starting with the Sonoma race. And TNT taking over coverage. But, solid. We'll see what the schedule holds for next year. And whether they'll be back there or they'll be going back to Chicago or something else. I was also looking at least amount of starts. You brought it up, Josh, about who won in SVG being the first person since Johnny Rutherford, Lone Star JR, to win in his first career start. Then in their second start, it was Jamie McMurray and Trevor Bayne. Third career start was amongst legends or whatever. Of course, was Fireball Roberts, Dan Gurney, and Kevin Harvick. Justin Haley also won in his third career start. So, and then I'm trying to see how many, in terms of modern era drivers, to win fewest amount of starts. This came out after Chase Briscoe won in his 40th start. Bell was 38, Nonek 35. The late Neil Bonnet was 33. Late Kyle Busch, 31. Christopher Buescher was 27. Anthony Wayne Stewart was 25. The Biff, 23. Earl Ross, the first Canadian to ever win on the circuit, won in his 21st start. Well, look, Dennis Hamlin, 21 starts for him as well. Look like a dweeb. And speaking of dweebs, there's Joey Logano holding a lobster in his 20th career start. Cold Custer in his 20th start. Kenseth 18. Carl Edwards 17. Juan Pablo Montoya was also 17. Dale Earnhardt 16. Morgan Shepherd 15. David Carl Allison 14. Jim Johnson 13 starts. So there you go. That's Corey Heim, as you mentioned. Dale Earnhardt Jr. there was 12. On the picture from Victory Lane there, looking through some of them guys there, and there's Tony Jr. Pretty big. I don't know where Tony Sr.'s at in that picture. Ron Bouchard was 11. Gumby Cindric 8. Mark Donohue won in his 5th start. There's Brad Keselowski. And they mentioned Kevin Harvick, Justin Haley, McMurray, and Trevor Bayne. So, all right. Let us move forward now. So, let's get into the O'Reilly series. It was the United Reynolds driven to serve 250. And plenty of destruction in this race. A little more straightforward in terms of who was up front. 4 drivers that were dominant, and Hank Hill, Taylor Gray, Carson Kvapil, and Brent Cruz, who started on pole. You had the likes of, which I'll mention here, we'll go through the rundown before we get further. Hill over Gray, Creed, Kvapil, Sammy Smith, your top 5. Jesse Love started tailback and finished 6th after he had issues in inspection. Parker Retzloff started in the outside pole and finished 2nd both stages, finished 7th overall. Austin Green, one of his best runs of his career, having to give up the seat at Pocono last week to Nick Sanchez there. So coming back, running really well, getting a top 10. Harrison Burton getting a top 10. And then Corey Day, who destroyed his primary car in practice, took his backup, had a manhole cover go through his oil cooler and radiator. They were able to repair all that, give him his laps back, and he came all the way back to finish 10th. Other stage point scorers, Cruz, but he ended up 31st. Sam Mayer, Anthony Alfredo, William Sawalich were all part of that huge wreck on lap 34. Finished 34th through 36th, respectively. They had delays. They had a red flag for, that was the red flag for 43 minutes after a wrecking looks like half the field there in turn 1 plus the wall. Then after that, they only had a couple of quick yellows there after, but Allgaier had issues the whole day. Ended up blowing up. Cruz blew up twice this weekend then, because he blew up in the 20 car on Sunday. Issues for the likes of Rajah Caruth driving the 88 this weekend. Amongst others there. Pardis had a better run, I think better car than finishing 18th there. Brad Perez gets a 19th place finish. Andrew Patterson gets a top 15 finish, so credit to him. Buckshot Jones from 33rd to 12th. So Yeah, so I mean, Hill used up Gray there late. Quapple got into Gray got into Quapple, moved him over. There was a lot of argy bargy there late in that race, but Hank Hill went out there, gets the win. Gets I think that's what his first road course win of his career, and gets himself into that mix for second in points after that victory. But a big win for RCR in general. After all the events, of course, and the loss of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, huge win for Austin Hill there. Obviously, opened the door for Hill with Taylor Gray and Carson Quapple going at it there. But yeah, for Hill, I mean, we know how he kind of races and everything, but obviously, kind of the same deal as what happened on Sunday. Was able to just go into carrier corner there and just overtake and kind of slide Taylor Gray there and take the win there. So yeah, obviously a huge win for Austin Hill. RCR, of course, still obviously recovering from the loss of Kyle Busch, and you saw that with the interview that Richard Childress gave afterwards, and him clearly still choking up over it. So obviously still a huge moment there for them as they kind of still recover from that. But for Austin Hill, of course, this year hasn't really been the same Austin Hill that we've seen in the past. But 2 wins here this year, 5th in the standings, of course. For him, hasn't won on a road course yet. He's been kind of super speedway merchant so far in his career, occasionally mile and a halves and short tracks, but for him, just hasn't been there yet on a road course, street course. So big win opportunity for him here to win first time in the O'Reilly series. So yeah, for the whole organization, of course, it's what they needed. Of course, Jesse Little being announced, or Jesse Love, sorry, being announced going on to Wood Brothers next year to take over that 21 car, finished 6th. So solid weekend for their organization overall here in the O'Reilly series, at least. Yeah, Taylor Gray, of course, really interesting move there, trying to go for it against Carson Quapple there. And I mean, I don't know if Quapple kind of let the door open a little bit by not going all out there at the end. But Taylor Gray, of course, probably not the right execution there. Got loose trying to pass Carson Quapple and just ended up wiping him out there. So obviously for Austin Hill, of course, kind of taking the win away from the bad guy, I guess, even though he's always been kind of, at least lately, been kind of the bad guy here in the O'Reilly series. So, yeah, at least for now, at least until Sunday, of course, Austin Hill seemed to at least briefly earn the good graces of most NASCAR fans here by winning here. So, yeah, Taylor Gray, kind of, I guess, bad racecraft there, trying to get the win from Carson Quapple, and then on the other hand, Carson Quapple probably should have won. He had the fastest car there, late in the going, and wasn't able to convert that into a win. So tough break for him there. Obviously for Quapple, huge opportunity for a win, kind of going away there, ends up spinning out and finishing in 4th. So still able to collect a lot of points, but obviously a win would be a big deal, especially for somebody that's kind of been bouncing around, this year, and between the 1 car and the 9 car and the 91 car. So big deal if they would have won there. Parker Retzlaff, and then also, I guess, Anthony Alfredo ran up front for a good part of the day. Retzlaff was able to recover from some pit road issues and finished in 7th there. They had an issue on pit road. Should have probably had enough to win the race, but unfortunately ran into some issues there. They had really good speed throughout the race, but they ended up finishing 7th there. Of course, Anthony Alfredo caught up in that mega accident there with Sam Mayer there, so they both had good speed, qualifying in the top 5 for this race. Just a terrible accident there for Sam Mayer. Just completely. I mean, it's definitely, like we said, it's a hard corner. That first turn there, can't really see where the wall is, and Sam Mayer just completely clipped the wall there, and careened back into the field there, and went head on into the wall. And you could see how hard of a hit that was with the way the steering column just completely compressed into the driver's compartment, and kind of just the heavy impact there from that. So yeah, glad Sam Mayer is okay, of course. I mean, obviously his ego took a hit there, but physically it looks like he's doing okay there. So tough break for him there. Obviously he was running up front, top 5 as well during that. So unfortunate for him there. Obviously a lot of controversy at the beginning of the race. Corey Day there with the manhole cover running over that. Whether he should have gotten his laps back or not. I think a lot of people agreed that it was okay because it wasn't not their fault, just a fault of the track coming apart. Does set an interesting precedent there. We've seen in the past, I think Matt Weaver had mentioned it. Jeff Gordon, 2004, Martinsville, the track coming apart damaged his car in that race. And I don't remember I think he still won that race, but regardless, I mean, that was an issue there for them back then. That's, definitely, we've seen tracks come apart before, but I guess this is a very unique situation there where just the entire front end got damaged there, and they lost 4 laps there, but then they gave it back to him there, and he recovered to finish in 10th there. So at least, especially with, I mean, not like he really has a chance, not that he really has a chance to get to the Chase championship lead before Daytona or before the end of the regular season for the O'Reilly Series, but certainly scored more points on Saturday than Justin Allgaier there. So at least it's something out of that. So obviously this race, I mean, lots of incidents throughout. Especially huge red flag for 40 minutes there on lap 35 for that caution for the big one there. 23 cars got in it, so huge incident there for the field there. So that was one of the reasons why I was concerned about how this weekend would really go, because the way every time a wreck happened, the walls would move, which I mean is by design, but obviously hinders the action there, and you spend a lot of time under yellow, under caution there. So big deal there. And I guess Sunday, of course, went relatively smoothly, of course, but of course we should probably also mention the fact that some guy went and got arrested during the race. That was fairly entertaining there. And this guy, throwback to 2007, Matt Kenseth at Watkins Glen there, and I guess fan completely wasted, whatever, somehow manages to hop 2 fences there, double fencing there, and actually get onto the track and talk to Sheldon Creed for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and go back and hop the fence again, double hop, and then shortly after he gets arrested. And I think because this happened on an active military base, that's actually a federal crime. So committing federal crimes just to talk to Sheldon Creed there, I mean, what a guy. So that's incredible, I guess. But
he gets to spend his night in the clink.
Yeah. Yeah, so the NCIS is like, ladies and gentlemen, we've got him. So that was a entertaining aspect of that race there. So really interesting. I wonder if that person, because he was walking with a lady there, I wonder if that was his girlfriend or his wife or whoever, but because the other police officer just said back away from this, and she backed away or whatever. So this guy got arrested, whatever. That was pretty funny there. So yeah, immediately when you saw that, I was like, yeah, this is Matt Kenseth all over again. So I mean, and that guy, I think that guy only had like the guardrail to hop over, whereas this guy, I mean, man, if this guy was completely wasted, like, man, that's like a lot of effort to, go over, the first set of fencing, which is, just regular fencing, and then over the track fencing. So that's pretty funny there. So yeah, pretty memeable event there that happened during the race on Saturday.
Yeah, I honestly, when I looked at him quick, I thought for a second that Joe went rogue and he decided that he wanted to go and talk to Sheldon Creed, but I also don't think he would get so inebriated that he would start jumping fences or walking through fences in the middle of red flags. He actually has common sense, so no offense to our good buddy Joe there, but he kind of looked like him because he had the ginger beard and all that, but dude had some hops, considering how many Bush Lights Bush beers he probably had to get to that point, and then finding Sheldon Creed of all people to talk to. Didn't ask for an autograph or anything, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, that reminds me of the Kevin Harlan. I think it was at a 49er game on the radio. I think it was a 49er Monday night game, and dude ran on the field and he was narrating the guy like basically stripping on the field, running all around. Got Kurt Warner to laugh in the process, and he said he's gonna spend the night in the clink, and yeah, dude, well, I guess he's got federal charges, but he probably is a fan of the guy a fan of one of those people that's up there in charge, so he can probably get out of it. Yeah, Allgaier's got 220 something point lead, so that's not an issue. He could run like crap the rest of the regular season and be fine. Jesse Love is, what is it, 32 points ahead of Hank Hill there. So there's a battle between second through fifth, which, I mean, they keep on emphasizing being in the top five in points before the reset. Buckshot Jones and Quapple are lurking there. So, I mean, Quapple having to swap between three different cars is 56 points behind Jesse Love. And so that's credit to him that he's been able to do that. And then for some of these other guys, they have multiple. There, you got Day and Hill has 2 wins, Creed has 1, Love, Jones, and Quapple still looking for their first win of the year. You have Retzloff in his own kind of world, kind of with Sammy Smith ahead of him. Then Gray and Mayer are tied 10th and 11th. And then Sawalich is 5 points ahead of his teammate Brent Cruz, 9 ahead of Rajah Caruth. Then Sieg, 27 back. Brennan Poole and Anthony Alfredo they're over 100 back there. They're gonna need a lot of help to get themselves in there, to give themselves a chance. Okay, so is there any other, no. Go over to the Truck Series Navy 250. You had Parker Kligerman and Adam Andretti MFing each other after the race, amongst other people that were pissed at each other. You had what's it called? It wasn't Landon Lewis. Who was 42 is Tyler Reif. Oh, he fell all the way back to 19th. Yeah, so at the end of the race, Tyler Reif looked like he was going to win. He'd used up Daniel Hemrick there after Hemrick had started tailback, got all the way to the front, looked like he was going to win there. There was a lot of carnage went on. Brer's red flag after you had the 18 of Tyler Ankrum nail the wall. The results, Lane Van Rigsbergen started on the front row, won stage one, led the most laps, but it took some work to get himself back there. Daniel Hemrick, Kaz Gralla, Landon Lewis, Ty Majeski, your top five. Justin Haley and Butterbean Queen, who started in the back. 6th and 7th for the Colleague Rams. Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, Gio Ruggiero rounding out your top 10. Credit to Mini Tyrell getting one of his best runs of the year in 11th. Tanner Gray, who started at the tail, finished 12th. Adam Andretti was 14th after starting 30-30, wrecked in practice. Brendan Gaughan, I think, hit everything but the lottery and finished 16th. Parker Kligerman was 18th after winning stage 2. Reif, I mentioned, was 19th. Andres Perez was 21st. Chandler Smith, 22nd. Caden Honeycutt started on pole, finished 23rd. Those are guys, these are all drivers that scored stage points. Both stages, actually. Brandon Finger, 29. Jimmy Johnson, 30th, led 2 laps. And then Ankrum's 31st. Jamie McMurray hit the turn 16 wall, and we'll have to ride a mechanical bull. Corey LaJoy also nailed a wall there, so finished dead last. So, yeah, I mean, this race, I mean, there was controversy and plenty of argy-bargy in this one, too. It looked really sketch the whole entire day. But when it came down to it, Joey Hand has been a huge resource for Ford in the simulator and on-road courses for these drivers. And Lane Riggs is going out there and at least making Bob Jenkins and the Front Row Motorsports higher ups think about, giving him an opportunity possibly to go up to the Cup Series the way he's been running in the trucks this year. Another victory for him, and comes through, goes and snookers the Tyler Reif there right at the end, and gets another victory, Josh, and adds to his points lead. And when Caden Honeycutt did get some stage points, but loses essentially 40 points on the day, and to Lane Riggs in his battle for that regular season title, and gives himself a leg up as they move towards Lime Rock in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, and honestly, you can maybe expect Lane Riggs to win in Lime Rock in a handful of weeks from now. So, yeah, I mean, for Lane Riggs, he's been really good so far this season. So, honestly, not really surprised that he's won yet again on a road course. He's proven to be really good at road racing here so far this year. So, yeah, honestly, for him, I mean, huge win for that group. Now they extend their points lead, like you said, over Caden Honeycutt. Got a feel for Tyler Reif, who probably had this race in the bag and then just overshot one of the final chicanes there. So, yeah, huge loss for Tyler Reif there, of course, but he'll learn from it and move on from it and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was a fairly interesting race throughout. I mean, I think at one point thought Daniel Hemrick might come away with this as a win there. But yeah, really just the class of the field was Lane Riggs all day. Chandler Smith also ran up front there for a bit. So yeah, that was definitely really interesting to watch that unfold there. Yeah, and of course this one also had handful of red flags for the track or the track wall breaking there, especially that incident there with uh, Tyler Rankum there, so causing the red flag there and everything. So yeah, I mean, again, the Truck Series pretty entertaining to watch. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, of course, led it 2 laps here in Truck Series competition, just second truck start ever in the Truck Series, and was up there for a minute, of course, and retired later due to, I guess, electrical issues and whatnot. You mentioned Parker Kligerman and Adam Andretti getting into it after. I mean, saw some of the clips of them on track as they were, driving aggressively, both of them there, and of course, I mean, man, Parker Kligerman's like one of the nicer guys here in all of NASCAR. So, if he's mad, somebody, I guess Adam Andretti did something terribly wrong there, and you can see it in the way he reacted too. So I feel like Parker won that argument there. So yeah, pretty entertaining though to kind of see that unfold there. But yeah, a lot of these guys like Justin Haley finally gets a good finish for the Ram. I think that might be one of their better finishes this year. Brandon Queen, of course, Butterbean finishing 7th. Really good finish for him as well. And of course, Mini Tyrell. So the full-time guys, the 3 cars from the Ram series or team, they both had really good finishes there for this weekend. So yeah, it's certainly, with Lane Riggs, think he should turn into the favorite here to win the title. Caden Honeycutt's been good, but I just don't think he's quite as good as Lane Riggs is at this point. And yeah, I think for Lane Riggs, of course, last year at Lime Rock Park, Corey Heim won that race, but I think Lane Riggs had an opportunity there to finish in the top 5 there in that race, and yeah, he was in the top 5 there for a bit. So that could be an opportunity for redemption for Lane Riggs, and now we are talking about him winning a 5th race here. Certainly going on a run. A lot of these tracks fit him and his driving style there as they get ready for their version of the chase there. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but yeah, looking like it's going to be either Lane Riggs or Caden Honeycutt for sure at the I guess start of the playoff or the chase.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know at this point it's really a 2-driver battle, even with the reset that they're going to have. But Lane Riggs at the moment has the momentum. Tricon, though, is the defending series champion with that 11. So it's not, and they have Scott Zipadelli and all that. So, I mean, you got that team, I think, is going to hit a stride there, and some of these racetracks, I think, fit their strong suit here as they move forward. Riggs does have a 65-point lead on Honeycutt, though, so that's a huge gap. Chandler Smith is pretty solid right now in 3rd. Ruggiero and Eckes only separated by 2 points. 4th and 5th there, so those are those key top 5. Ty Majeski has had an inconsistent year, but he's 6th. Rhodes is 4 points behind him. Then Hemrick, who's had issues early in the year, but has moved himself all the way up to 8th. Teammate Ankrum is 12 points back in 9th. And then Jake Garcia on the cutoff, 30 points behind Hemrick in 10th. Enfinger's 5 points behind Jake Garcia. Disregard Corey Heim there. Friesen's 10 back. Queen 11. Justin Haley, was it 22 there? Yeah, 22. Because it's 20, yeah, 22. And then Andres Perez is 33 back. Tanner Gray 37. So that's really the battle there for the playoff, for the drivers that could do something. But Tanner Gray hasn't done a whole hell of a lot. Andres Perez are both inconsistent. I think the cutoff is Justin Haley. And can the Dodge program put something together to get one of their guys in the top 10? That would be a huge accomplishment for that organization, going against Front Row Motorsports, Tricon Garage, McAnally, Hilgeman, and Thorsport, which are the top 4 teams in this series by far. All right, so let us move to the IndyCars. We'll get into the race at Road America, the XPEL Grand Prix of Road America. Definitely a lot of issues, concerns, injuries, of course, for Joseph Newgarden having to right foot brake because of his left leg having surgery and having to recover from that. Ends up 22nd. Did lead a couple of laps, 3 laps in the race. You also had Alexander Rossi, who's of course recovering from injuries, fared much better. Did start tailback, finished 6th. In the end, though, I mean, you had Alex Palou started on pole, led 13 laps, so second most laps led on the day, or third most laps led on the day. It was you add the Meyer Shank guys, the Ganassi connected drivers led all but 10 laps of the 55 scheduled laps on Sunday. In the end, though, somebody who has hit a Ganassi car on lap 1 on the front straightaway, Christian Lundgaard, hitting Scott Dixon, coming up to turn 1, had to get a front wing changed and had to do other stuff, and was in the back, was tailback, but came back from having that situation, benefited from Marcus Armstrong having a blown engine, and came through and gets his second win of 2026. Second win on a permanent road course this year. Of course, his first win of his career was on a street course at Toronto for Rahal, Letterman Lanigan. Now he's driving, of course, for McLaren. Gets that big win there. So it was Christian Lundgaard, David Malukas started second, closest race to his hometown of Chicago. Kept on saying it was his home track. But they're in Illinois. His family's company, I think, is out of Illinois. So Malukas power after running into Graham Rahal and spinning him out going into Canada corner. Graham Rahal. Kiffin Simpson finishes 4th. Alex Palou got a speeding penalty coming off pit road after one of the pit stops. Had to come back from that. Finished 5th. Rossi 6th. McLaughlin. Rosenquist, who led the most laps on the day, finished 8th. Root Beer Floathead 9th, and then Kyle Kirkwood in 10th. Scott Dixon there in 11th. Ward 12th. Erickson whatever there. And then, I mean, Siegel got spun going into turn 5 on that last lap, which was a 1-lap shootout. Newgarden ends up 22nd, mentioned his issues, and an Armstrong horse blew up. Ray Hall went from possibly finishing 3rd to finishing 23rd. And then Rasmussen had a mechanical issue on the front straightaway to finish in the back. But yeah, I mean, for Lundgaard, ended up 12th on qualifying, so not ideal. Then has the contact early in the race and was able to come all the way back. Kyle Boyer and company going and calling a good race. Of course, full course yellows, landing the right way. And gets himself into the mix here for second in points. He's only 17 points out of second. And outperforming, of course, his much more heralded teammate and Pato O'Ward, 40 points ahead. Has 2 wins to none for Pato. More top 10s. 1 less top 5, but the 2 wins make up for that. And led 30 more laps so far this year. But while Alex Palou still has a pretty sizable lead, Lundgaard holding up the banner for Arrow McLaren at the moment and getting that win at one of America's great motorsports venues at Road America.
Yeah, incredible race throughout the day here for IndyCar, of course. For Lundgaard, incredible comeback. Of course, lap 1 damaged the wing, running into the back of Scott Dixon there on the start, and obviously had to use up an extra pit stop there to get that fixed there. But definitely, the full course yellows helped him out for sure, especially the yellows for Christian Rasmussen there, and as well as yellow for Romain Grosjean there. So Lundgaard, of course, has been really good this year on pace, better than what Pato O'Ward's been showing this year. He won at Indianapolis Grand Prix in the lead up to the 500 there. So now, winning here at Road America, pretty big win for that group. They did a phenomenal job being able to come back from that, of course. And you got a feel for Marcus Armstrong, of course, handful of laps away from a potential first win. Their engine blows up there late, so of course, got to be able to run all of the laps there. Of course, tough couple of weeks for Marcus Armstrong. Of course, we've seen what he was able to do at the Indianapolis 500. Had an opportunity there to potentially win, and ended up 3rd. Now here for another opportunity, ends up in 24th there, 3 laps away from a potential first win there. So, obviously Lundgaard putting himself in the mix for the top 5 in the championship. Obviously for Palou, not the most perfect race from Palou. Some mistakes in that race from Palou. So probably, even though he started in first and looking like he could probably be the guy to potentially win there, things didn't quite go his way there during that one. Also, Felix Rosenquist, of course, who may be on the move potentially. After being up front leading those laps, only comes out away in 8th there. So, after winning the 500, this would be one of the races where you would expect him to compete well at, and he did, but still only 8th place finish there. But Lundgaard now asserting himself into the top 5 in points and potentially up for second there. And can't say it'd rule him out for winning the championship yet, but obviously a lot still has to happen for Alex Palou to open that opportunity up there. David Malukas, of course, performing well in the time that he's replaced Will Power, who of course finished third. I think we're pretty close to seeing a David Malukas win here. Another second place finish for him. Easily could have won, fought throughout the day up in the top five. The last lap incident between Will Power, Graham Rahal. Yeah, really interesting there. Graham Rahal doesn't finish the race there. So I think, just two guys racing for the same piece of real estate there, both coming together there, going into Kettle Bottoms there and Canada Quarter there. So yeah, that was definitely a terrible incident there for Graham Rahal. Of course, he's been running well on the road and street courses here this year. Handful of top tens, podium here this season. So yeah, Graham Rahal not had the best of seasons so far in this respect, but yeah, definitely for Will Power, still showing that he can finish on the podium here. Of course, first year at Andretti, still going through some issues here, but proving that he can fight for positions here and compete potentially for podiums and wins here. So yeah, of course, comes at the expense of Graham Rahal though. So we'll see how that continues to turn out. But yeah, for Arrow McLaren, of course, we've kind of been interested to see how they would perform in relative to Ganassi, relative to Andretti, at least for Kirkwood, and they've been fairly consistent, but they just haven't had the pace up front. But I think Lundgaard is showing why he could be a potential guy to put himself into the top three in the standings there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a interesting battle. I mean, I know everyone talks about the championship, but Pelot's looking like, even with an off day, he still has a top five, which is scary. Even when he makes a mistake, he still gets top five. So how do you fade that? Is crazy to think. And then Kirkwood had his issues this weekend too in the process. So Malukas is up by over 60 points on his two more heralded teammates. Newgarden, who has 2 wins this year, but of course is injured, and then McLaughlin, who's been there for a while. So the move that they made, Penske to go with Malukas, it looks like it's been has obviously been a positive relative to what Will Power's been doing, though granted there's been issues at the Andretti team for the cars that aren't the 27. So Pelot, 60-point lead over Malukas. Malukas and Kirkwood separated by a point, 17 points, as I mentioned. Malukas is ahead of Lundgaard. Then Award is 40 back of Lundgaard. He's 9 points out of Rosenquist, McLaughlin, and 10 points out of Newgarden. So a good battle there for 5th through 8th. Then, 13 points separating Marcus Ericsson in 9th all the way to Rahal, who lost a ton of points, would be in the top 10 solid right now if he hadn't fallen all the way back there after he got his bleep wrecked by Power. No penalty there. They called that a racing incident. I'm not sure how running into somebody when you're not even, he only got to his left rear tire constitutes an actual pass, but whatever, I guess that's IndyCar for you. Yeah, so that's the battle there for 9th and 10th there, the last two drivers. Next race, of course, will be Mid-Ohio on Independence Day weekend. It'll be on Sunday the 5th, so they'll be qualifying on July the 4th. And then from there, they will move. They'll have a couple of weeks, so there's going to be some time there's going to be some gaps, good rest for some of these teams that need it, the team members, some gaps of time here, relatively quiet month of July, only a couple of races here, so there will be some time to recover, get resources back, get cars repaired here with this race, then Road America or Mid Ohio and Nashville before the stretch run, which basically runs straight from August 9th out to end the season. That'll be a tough stretch, so they're going to be getting ready for that. All right, so yeah, GSP Roundup, let's get it going. Marco Bezzecchi made the news, the MotoGP points leader this year, by getting himself suspended for the race on Sunday at the Czech Grand Prix in Brno, in the process opening the door for Marc Marquez to come back after he'd missed a couple of rounds, goes and gets the victory. Marco Bezzecchi's teammate Jorge Martin, still nursing injuries from the wreck from the last race, had to do double long lap penalty, only finished 9th. So interesting there for the standings moving forward there. Bezzecchi, after winning 2 races ago, has no points the last 2 rounds, and there's only 8 points at Jorge Martin. Fabio Di Gianantonio is 23 back. Marquez now has won 2 races in a row and is 40 points back. The top 7 separated by 53 points here going into their break. So it's still now it really is a battle for this championship. You can add Ayagura there, who finished 2nd, and Brno, who's now 5th in points. Costa as well into the mix. So we'll see how that all rolls in MotoGP when they come back for the next race. Joe Roberts actually finished in the top 10. Look at that in Moto2, so credit to him there. Then both AJ Foyt cars in the Indy Next race 2 got DQ'd for a tire infraction where they ended up swapping tires somehow. I don't know how that's possible, but it happened. And then Matteo Nannini ends up being the beneficiary of that. And then so we'll go quick results there. In race 1, it was Lockie Hughes over Josh Pearson. Alessandro De Tullio had the pole in that race, finished 3rd. Beaten Nannini. Nikita Johnson, is Nannini's teammate there, was 6th. Miles Rowe got a top 10. Enzo Fittipaldi had issues, finished 22nd there. And then in race 2, as I mentioned, was Nannini over Timmy Kachow and Nikita Johnson. Enzo Fittipaldi recovers to 4th, Miles Rowe 5th. Point standings heading to Mid-Ohio, another doubleheader they'll have there. Nikita Johnson up by 6 on Taimek Kusharik, and then 27 on Enzo Fittipaldi. De Tullio loses a ton of points in the process of losing that win and getting DQ'd. But it's 100 points back, just over 100 points back. So then in other racing series, we'll see, of course, we'll have WRC will be in Greece. The Acropolis Rally, NHRA will be in Norwalk before couple weeks off before the Western Swing. IMSA will be at Watkins Glen for the 6 hours at the Glen. As I mentioned, Amy and I will be there. It'll be essentially our vacation before we go to Chicago for my cousin's wedding, but that's a few months away. But busy otherwise. There'll be other events and things to do, but that'll be essentially a getaway. A bunch of friends, sim racing people from G-Force will be up there as well, so hopefully connect with them, tailgate, do the whole thing. Sean Heckman from Dinner with Racers posted on his Insta, or posted on Dinner with Racers Insta, that they're going to have a kind of a meetup there for a little girl who's doing a fundraising thing, so hopefully get to meet him and meet this little girl who's trying to make some bracelets and stuff, so be cool to see. And see all the great cars that'll be there and all the different racing series we'll see at Watkins Glen because of how big a place it is. And then F2, F3 will be at Austria. So that will lead into the Austrian Grand Prix and picks. So, yeah, let us see here. I had first pick there. Josh, you had that one, and then I whiffed on all of mine as usual. But at least you got the trucks. So, Josh, you get first dibs here. Formula One, Austrian Grand Prix. This is going to be a very busy stretch here for Formula One prior to their their summer break, and I think key towards the World Championship for the likes of George Russell, who is trying to go and make up ground in the standings. Of course, Lewis with the momentum of winning his first race for Ferrari at Barcelona. Not sure how the Red Bull ring will be for the Ferraris, but I think it should be a good circuit for the Mercedes, and then also for McLaren. But what are you thinking? Who do you see as winner on the podium for this coming weekend?
Yeah, it's hard not to go with Andrea Kimi Antonelli again to win. I think George Russell gets second here. And you know what? I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton getting third on the podium.
Round out podium. Yeah, it makes sense that it is safe picks there for sure in terms of especially Kimi Antonelli. For me, I'll go with Woody for differentiate to win with AK and Fish Lips rounding out podium instead of the Ferrari. On the podium, we'll see the Red Bull, who supposedly has the most powerful engine, with their Red Bull Ford powertrain. Alrighty, so that's Formula One. I mentioned Formula 2, Formula 3 will be racing there, and then the following week, I believe, F1 Academy will be at Silverstone, but I'll double check that accordingly. NASCAR, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Pit Boss Food Max 250 at Sonoma, 38 for 38, nobody going home. Let's see, LeBay back in the zero for SS Greenlight. Connor Zilic will be in the 1 car for JRM. SVG will be in the 9 for JRM. Then Ross Chastain in the 32 for Jordan Anderson. The Western Watermelon Association and California Almonds car. There you go. Dawson Cram, former guest of the show, driving the 35 for Joey Gase and Mike Harmon. Will Rogers driving the 42 for Youngs. 53 doesn't have a driver as of yet. Brad Perez driving the 55 for Joey Gase. Leland Honeyman driving the 71 for DGM. Carson Quapple in the 91 for DGM. Josh Williams back in the 92. And yeah, so that will, and Rajak Ruth in the 88. Austin Green in the 87 road course. So that is that. So for me, I'm gonna pick SVG because he's gonna be pissed. So I'm just gonna assume that after last week. So at Sonoma, Phil goes with SVG to win, and my wild card choice will be Austin Green. All right, Josh. I left Connor Zilic out there, and he did finish second in this race last year. One of the rare instances where it seemed like he finished second, but he definitely needs some momentum too. So is it possible for him to go out there and get another road course win?
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I mean, this car should have won probably at San Diego with Carson Quapple behind the wheel. So, Rodney Childers bring that setup book to Sonoma and take it with Connor Zilic here on the number 1 car. And I guess my wild card, you know what, I'm going to go with Brad Perez here. Had a good run here at San Diego, and he's on the injury list again in the 55 car. Top 20, why not?
Yeah, and opening a seltzer for Brad Perez. Hopefully he can get a good run there. Joey Gay's team trying to get the most out of not the best equipment there. Just trying to make a decent run. Don't get junked. Really is the whole name of the game as they move forward for this race, because a lot of people junked their stuff last week. So we'll see how it all goes. Alrighty, so we will move into the Toyota Save Mart 350 race at Sonoma. Only the chartered 36 in the field. True, and it's just different sponsors probably. Excuse me. Yep. So, Josh, you get first dibs here. You did pick SVG last week, so are you doing it again?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. SVG, I mean, again, should be the guy. So yeah, we'll go chalk here, go with SVG, and I mean, yeah, it's hard not to go with. I mean, I think wild card, I don't know. I mean, could just go with Connor Zilic, but I mean, that's like, I mean, you could. I mean, it's not a guarantee. So yeah, I'll go with that.
I was gonna say, like, you might as well just, just fully hedge that and just get a full Trackhouse double there. after what happened last week, I think they're going to be very motivated to go out there and make something happen. For me, it's interesting. I mean, last week was an anomaly in a sense, but was it? I think in terms of road course, I guess, I'll do this just out of curiosity for Cup. In terms of the fantasy stats for road courses over the last 10 road course races. I don't know if it's taking into account. It didn't take into account last week because SVG got a shit wreck there. So that's not going to be updated. Yeah, it's only got up to Watkins Glen. So yeah. This website is just annoying. Yeah, so I mean, based on just not, I guess it's not average finish. Or I guess I could do it by average finish, but I mean, Reddick has been on this bad run, and I picked him last week, and it went bad. At some point, he's been so good on road courses. Average finish is really high up there. Tyler Reddick has to stop the bleeding at some point. They are going to Chicagoland. They're going to be going to Atlanta, where he won in February with a wreck with the no right front corner on his car. I'm going to do this. We're both picking the same people we picked last week. I'm picking Reddick to win. It has to come around. You know what I mean? Like, I just honestly don't think he can continue to be leaking oil. Just the way that they have been all for this recent stretch of races. In terms of, because it's 30, there's 35 that have driven the whole year, or 34 really have driven the whole year. Bowman's missed races. So for me, I'll pick Zane Smith. Zane Smith's been on a decent run recently. California kid, ran well last week. They need the front row team needs some momentum. They need somebody to go up there and do something. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll pick him as my wild card for this weekend's race at Sonoma. So, with that, Josh, let us know what's going on all race in iRacing and gaming in the sim segment.
Yeah, of course. I guess, some NASCAR 26 news here. Kyle Larson revealed Friday or Thursday as the cover athlete for NASCAR 26 coming out later this year. Obviously, he got to do some promo for that, doing some burnouts on the NASCAR or on the USS Midway there, which is pretty interesting to see one of the more unique burnouts ever performed, I guess, given the surrounding aircraft that he was around, and they told him not to touch any of that. But I guess he's on the cover, which I guess makes sense given that he won the championship and everything and all that. So it should be a good game. Looking forward to seeing the changes that they made from last year to this year and how that improves the game there. For me, of course, iRacing ran the naval-based Coronado course on the Cup car and the O'Reilly car. Mostly tested in the Cup car. O'Reilly decided to actually run it. And the one race that I did, I think I was with LeVar Scott, the actual LeVar Scott from the O'Reilly series. there. So he won the race, of course. I ran into the tire barrier on with the lap to go and killed my car. So yeah, I mean, I did this with in the O'Reilly car with zero practice effectively. I just like, you know what, just hop in and go and see what happens. I kind of know the course from the Cup car. We'll see what it turns out, how it's any different there. So yeah, probably not the best thing. I mean, I thought it was doing good early, and then spun out, wheel hopped it into the final chicane there on the course, and spun out there, and then kind of killed my chances at a solid top 10 there. So it was looking good early, but yeah, that was interesting there. But yeah, once again, in a session of iRacing with an active NASCAR driver, so I guess that's cool. Yeah, I mean, he started like I think 2 positions ahead of me, and he immediately sent it on the first corner there, and was able. I think it took him like a handful of laps to get up to the leader. So yeah, I mean, obviously, lots of practice. I mean, that was one of the interesting things about this weekend was the differences in simulation there, and they're all talking about how the manufacturer sims they actually use a different simulator than iRacing, right? And they have their own thing that they come up with. They use a entirely different program. I think is mostly should be accurate, but I guess for this particular course, just wasn't as visually accurate as what iRacing had, and so a lot of people were talking about they used iRacing a lot for this this weekend because iRacing had the detail and the scan there, and they were able to use that to prepare for it quite easily there. I mean, and I think Parker Kligerman had talked about it. He said just visually, just iRacing was the way to go because they were able to get all the breaking points and everything down to the finest details there. I think Carson Hocevar was talking about. He said I think the best way that they were able to figure out the Cup car, how the Cup car should handle, was actually using the I think he said Mazda MX-5s on the San Diego course. So that's an interesting one there too, which is funny because the Mazda MX-5s, I mean, race nothing like the Cup cars on iRacing, but I think on iRacing the Cup cars were capable of like 2 minute 6 laps, 2 minutes 6 seconds there, and I mean they weren't able to run more than 2 minute 12 second laps there. Yeah, so that was interesting there. So obviously there's a bit of a difference there on iRacing compared to the actual real sim or real life. So that's pretty interesting there as well. There, so yeah, obviously they'll have that in the sim forever. So we'll see what people are able to do. And obviously for me, I mean, running that course, I mean the corners, I mean like turn carrier corner, the first second corner, the chicanes, they weren't that bad. It was the other stuff, the kind of the S's in the middle where you kind of had that little switchback section on the course. I mean, I was having trouble with that part, so got to go back and study the film if I were ever try to race there on iRacing again. But it's still pretty fun, I think, to run that. So really liked the course there. I thought it was a pretty good effort there. Good design and everything, had a lot of flow throughout it. So it's always good for a road course, especially for stock car like the Cup car, the O'Reilly car, and the Truck Series car. So yeah, that's all good there. Yeah, this week on iRacing, of course, NASCAR Cup and O'Reilly Series at Sonoma Raceway. The Truck Series, they're putting them at Daytona this week, so free safety rating or lose safety rating there, one of the two, depending on what happens there. GT4 Series, I think some of the GT3 Series at Watkins Glen for the 6 hours. They just had the iRacing 6 hours of 6 hours of Watkins Glen last weekend on iRacing. I hadn't signed up for it. I wasn't sure what my schedule was going to be for this weekend, but guess could have competed in it, but didn't know what it was going to be like, so I did not. So, but the iRacing special event was this past weekend for that. Let's see, this week, yeah, GT4s at Watkins Glen on the boot circuit there, TCRs as well on the boot there. 87 cars are at North Wilkesboro this week here. So yeah, lots of things here for iRacing, of course. Let's see what the other series. Formula 4 at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Skip Barber also at Mexico City. Formula V at Olden Park. Formula 1600 at Olden Park as well there. So yeah, got a lot of variety there, I guess. Trying to see what else. I guess NASCAR Euro Series, I guess with the Euro NASCAR at Circuit Zolder there. So should be interesting there for that. Haven't tried that car yet. Have to see what other people will say about that car. I've heard people say it's good, but I just haven't gotten around to it there. So yeah, of course, Ditch Stream. Last night running the San Diego course there. You can go look at that, Twitch TV/usailor2. You can go on there, follow that stream. It's kind of interesting trying to navigate that course and everything. Of course, LeVar Scott was in that session, just happened to hop on late at night, before going to bed and everything. You can follow me on Twitter, JP Huffine. Follow my photography page at Josh Huffine Photography. And of course, you can follow the Grip Strip Podcast YouTube page. We got everything uploaded there at Grip Strip Podcast on YouTube. So yeah, great weekend of racing here. Very unique style that we saw here this past weekend at San Diego. We'll see what the future holds for that race, but yeah, kind of get into the summer stretch here and kind of seeing what the battle for the regular season title here for NASCAR, of course, throughout all three series, what that's going to look like. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how all of that unfolds.
Yeah, this weekend will be more the rank and file normal, I guess you would say, compared to being on airports and city circuit, going to Sonoma, racetrack they've been at for many decades. But we'll talk about it. We'll recap it here, episode 321 of the GSP next week. Recap also what we do or what I'm able to do, and who hopefully meet some drivers and get some cool pictures and whatnot at Watkins Glen during this weekend. The weather for race day itself looks very good. Gonna battle overcast and probably some possible rain earlier in the weekend on Friday and Saturday, but so it might affect qualifying, affect some of the racing we have there, but still will be a good weekend getaway. One of the beautiful parts of our great country. As Josh mentioned, the Gripster Podcast YouTube page, GSP 1428 YouTube page. You can get the audio feed as well. You can find Gripster Podcast, philipgmatthew.com, podbean.com. You can find me on the socials, Instagram, PGMGSP28, Twitter, PGMatthew28. As always, thanks to you, Josh, for all your work behind the scenes and all your insights and for friendship, of course, as well. So grateful to do 320 friggin' episodes. It's crazy, just that number. Done this for all these years, and so it's something shows that when you have a passion for something, it's worth it to keep on going with it. So yeah, so thanks for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, fam, and whoever you feel would benefit from listening to podcasts about racing and sports here on the Gripster Podcast. So for Josh, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the GSP.